So, what drew you to Guilford or the Greensboro community?
All the same reasons that I use in my recruiting tactics. I've been looking to become a head football coach the last 3 years of my career as a coach, and have had opportunities offered to me, and other opportunities that I've looked at. And the three things that I was looking for was a school with some academic prestige to be able to help young men obviously grow and graduate in 4 years and be able to go out and make something of themselves. So I think the academic prestige here helped. Location, when you look at location, you're looking for a place that you can call home, a place that's clean, friendly, safe, has small, where you can have a community feel where everybody kind of gets a chance to know one another and comfortable and all that in terms of size. Not one that's too big, but one that was obviously there's about 200 acres in the backyard.
Right.
It's all woods, but for the most part, a place where I can feel that my family can come and be a part of and feel comfortable that they're going to be safe here. So all those things are important to me. Obviously, coming into the South, where I thought the weather was nicer, but every time I come into town, I bring snow and cold weather with me. So that was a key component. And then obviously I'm a football coach, and you look at the football program and trying to find a place where you can make an impact and try to build wins rather than losses. And having a chance to evaluate some of the film that was here previous years, it's something that I think with the players in place, it can happen. So I looked at those three things, and I said to myself, it's a place that I feel I can fit and have some success out in raising young men to graduate from.
Right. What will be difficult about leaving your old school?
The players, the student athletes up there. Obviously the hardest thing, and I realized how hard it would be, but when I obviously was ready to accept a job after having a few offers there, I knew I was leaving, and it was finals week. And I think the hardest part was when I had to walk into a room where there was only about 20 of them that were there because most of them already went home for the break, and tell them that I was on my way out. You didn't realize how difficult that was going to be until you looked at them in the eyes, and it's the relationships that you had a chance to build with these young men. I tell players all the time, when you're playing in the program, I'm not here to be your friend, but by the time you graduate, we'll be very close, and we'll be able to have a relationship that will last forever. And I think that's something that I started to bond with a lot of the guys where I came from. So leaving there was very difficult. Other than that, not a whole lot, because I think I was prepared for this.
Right. Well, good. You have never been a head football coach before. How do you feel about taking on this role for the first time?
Well, the good news is I wasn't a head football coach, but I was an associate head football coach, which meant the role was very similar. I did a lot of work from everything from roster and personnel decisions to hiring my own staff and deciding who would stay and who would leave, to budgeting, to recruiting, academically, coordinator. I've dealt with all the day-to-day operations as a head football coach in my position there. So basically, the plan is to come here, and the only difference is when you first sit down, which I did on my first staff meeting on January 3rd, and realized everybody was looking at me to speak first. That was really the biggest difference, and just being announced and introduced as the head football coach rather than as the associate head football coach. That's the difference, and all the interviews and the people I've spoken to, and the being on the camera and all that stuff. That's a little different, because as the associate head football coach, you're kind of in the background a little bit more doing it all. So I think the day-to-day challenges aren't going to be it. I think it's the challenge of understanding that everyone's looking to me now rather than the guy that was necessarily above me. But I'm prepared for it and excited for it as well.
Right. How do you plan on turning this program around?
I think it starts with a lot of things. I think it starts with finding out the people involved in the program now. What type of character, what type of people are they? Are they good people? Are they people that really want to be on board with everything that we're going to do, whether it's in the classroom, in the community, or on the field? And I think finding those people first. And I had the team meeting for the first time where I had a chance to meet the entire team, or those who want to be a part of the team, last night, and then for about an hour and a half, and explain to them my philosophies, my missions, my thoughts, my concepts, and my beliefs, as well as my procedures. And basically asked them all, if you want to be a part of this, sign up for a meeting to meet with the individual, which will begin today. And if not, best of luck to you. And I think there was about 61 guys there, and I have about 68 people somehow signed up for these meetings. So, I think it's going a long way there with them understanding what I'm about. So I think, turning the program around, it's not a matter of X's and O's. A lot of coaches, a lot of players understand that. It's going to start with, doing the things in the classroom, because I think you can only win as far as your seniors take you. If your players are made up of freshmen and sophomores and not retaining here, you're never going to be successful. So I think the biggest challenge for me is making sure that the student athletes that are involved in the program now start going to class, start being prepared. Sitting in the front of the room is something I talked to them about last night, and just being involved, understanding that they're paying for this education, so take advantage of it every chance you get. You don't pay for a cruise and then just not go to it.
Exactly.
You don't pay for a car and never drive it. So take advantage of the opportunities that are here in front of you, and the things that you're going to learn through this. And being a liberal arts school, it's not about going there and being book smart. It's about being interactive and being and enjoying the entire college experience. So I think trying to get their mindset to understand there's more to it than just football, and there's more to it than just academics, and getting them involved in that. Helping others and serving. I had one of the players actually asked me when and if we'll be starting community service projects, and I said absolutely. It's just going to take some time, because obviously coming in here in January with nothing established, it may not happen this semester, but it's something we'll definitely start getting involved with throughout the summer and fall. So I think there's some excitement about that as well. So I think it's just turning the program and making sure people understand there's more than just the football program itself, more about it than just us. For everybody that just comes in every day and empties a trash can or vacuums my office, to the people that feed us every day, and all those people that are involved with this program, that are a part of it, that may not think they are, but should be aware of that, and getting our guys to reach out to those people and make sure they understand that.
What are some short-term goals for the football program?
Right now, in terms of, I can talk about it in a couple different phases. One of them is academically, to get the team GPA up. I think right now it's not very good, but the goal would be to try to get to a 2.7, 2.8 range, and eventually get that up to a 3.0 range, which is where I think is very comfortable to be at as a team average. To get people that are on any kind of academic probation off, to make sure that they understand it's not about keeping them here, about wins and losses, but keeping them here because what else are they going to do when they go back home, and why did they choose to come here in the first place? And so I guess part of it is first is academically getting these young men that are in trouble out of trouble, and getting those that are doing okay to do good, and those that are doing good to do great, and understand the value behind it and what it takes. So I think that's the first short-term goal. That's this semester, trying to get that established. Another short-term goal is, we talk football, is to get them into the weight room and make sure that they can start to get themselves physically fit to become bigger and stronger and healthier, to be able to maintain a full season that's going to come into in August, and being prepared for that. And then obviously preparing ourselves in August for our first game against Greensboro. As it all starts there, and people ask me, what do you expect? I think winning and losing can be contagious, and right now, unfortunately, the contagious part is on the down end right now, and we need to fix that. And I think if and when we can go beat a Greensboro team, it hopefully can continue to go through the rest of the year that way, and then we can get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins and have a winning season for us.
Right. What about some long-term goals for the program?
Well, long-term goals I kind of touched up academically is to get the team GPA average to 2.75 and above. Ultimately, you'd love to see a 3.0. That's not easy to do. But you look at what's long-term, 4 or 5 years from now, you'd love to see it at that point. Whether it gets to that point, it'll determine obviously what type of recruits we bring in, what type of people are in the program, what they're studying is always a key component to that too. Sometimes, I mean, we had students that were pre-med, and it's a little harder to get that 3.0 all the time early on in your career until you start to realize what you can do with it. So, I think that's important. How many freshmen compared to sophomores and upperclassmen? As you're an upperclassman, GPAs are usually higher because people start understanding the importance. When you're a freshman, sometimes it takes a little while to understand what's going on and what it's about, until you determine a major sometimes, because if you're not sure what you want to study and you're studying something that's not interesting to you, you're not going to have the passion to do well, so you'll be more or less a C student at that point. But once you start to realize what you want to study, before you know it, you're an AB student because you're doing things that you enjoy and have passion for. So, it's going to take some time to make sure guys understand. I ask that the guys all the time about, well, what are you studying? Business. Well, why? What do you want to do with it? I don't know, make money. To me, that's not a good enough answer. And money will come if you love what you do. And I think that's the focus that I take on all student athletes I've ever dealt with is, well, what do you want to do with that? And well, I'm not sure. And then when they start to realize what they want to do, they start to realize, well, if I go study that, I'll do much better here academically and wherever I am academically. So I think long term, it's to get people to understand that in the program, that it's not about money, it's not about this, it's not about that. It's about doing what's best for yourself and making sure you're enjoying what you're doing. So long term, that will be a focus. Obviously community service, I think, a great number is to have a football program, or any program for that matter, that can be able to go out there and put 400 hours of community service into a community. That's a good number. We were averaging about 600 where I came from the last couple of years, which is a great number. So I think, we'd like to try to reach that goal, but that could take another 12 months to 18 months to get to that point, just because of finding out where we are, getting our numbers there, and getting it to where we need to be. And then obviously long-term goals, as a football program, is to win as many games as we can, and to give our guys an opportunity to be a champion. And so you win one championship every 4 years, you have a chance to give everybody that opportunity to do that. Now, 3 out of 4 years, 4 out of 4 years would be better, but everybody wants to win, so it's not always that easy. But if they work hard, I think we'll be able to do that.